Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego coming to you live from the YouTube studio here in the Panhandle of Florida. And we are waiting for our K1 visa to get adjudicated at the Service Center in California. Our NOA1 letter is dated April 18th, 2022. And just like you guys, more than likely, your K1 visa is sitting at the Service Center in California too. And I decided to print up a list of folks. I printed up the list of countries where you guys are watching us from, and we got good people in the Philippines, beautiful Philippines, India, Colombia. Now, Karina, my prometida, lives in Bogota, Colombia, so maybe she's creating the traffic from Colombia. Nigeria, Jamaica, the United Kingdom. I know GS is in the United Kingdom. And we got the Dominican Republic and Artur and is in Algeria. We got Brazil. Jose is in the Dominican Republic. Kenya, Pakistan, Canada, Indonesia, Gambia. Whoa. Ghana, Morocco, United Arab Emirates. I just made a video about that. Ethiopia, Hong Kong, Mauritania. We got people watching this from Mauritania. Thailand, Algeria, Trinidad and Tobago, Japan, Costa Rica, Liberia, France, Germany, Peru, Guyana, Puerto Rico, Honduras, Syria, our friends in Syria, Bangladesh, Iraq, our friends in Iraq, Burundi, Ecuador, Tunisia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Communist Cuba, for our friends in Cuba. I bet it's warm down here, guys. Sierra Leone, Uganda, Egypt, South Africa, and now also communist Venezuela. And live with us today, we have Bud Garcia. Bud says, hello, Diego. I hope you and Karina are doing well. He's in Washington State. Artur. Hello, Mr. Diego. Artur, now you are in Algeria. Correct me if I'm wrong. And BBL Survival. Hello, sir. Well, hello, BBL. And, and Janiela James. Hi, Janiela. Welcome. Join the group. I just read off a list of countries who are watching us. And Artur says, I'm right. Yeah, I remember. Artur, my friend Artur, in our beautiful Algeria. Now, how's the weather? Is it cold or is it hot? Here in Florida, today was gray skies, but it was hot tropical. And it rained. And yesterday I had some of these cracks in my driveway. So I went to Home Depot and bought some of this crack filler, and I spent the afternoon filling the holes in my driveway. Artur says it is hot. It's hot in Algeria. Now, guys, if you live in these countries, if you live in Iran, our friends in Iran, if you live in Iran, okay, we don't have a U.S. embassy in Iran. So it's a little difficult to get an embassy interview if we don't have an embassy there. So these are the countries that you can go to, our friends in Iran. Now, Iran, she watches us, but it's like, I don't know what time. I think like 2:00 in the morning in Iran right now. But if you are a K1 visa recipient, and you live in Tehran, in Iran, and you can go to the U.S. embassy in the Republic of Georgia. I made a video about that embassy. You can go to a embassy in the United Arab Emirates. I made a video about that embassy. You can go to the U.S. embassy in Turkey or Armenia or Oman. Okay, and midnight tonight, I'll go ahead and release a video about the U.S. embassy in Oman, beautiful Oman, right there in the Persian Gulf. And other videos that people have asked me to make. An update on the Philippines. I've got that scheduled, guys. And folks in Morocco, watching us from Morocco, want information. Ethiopia, Ghana, and also about Sudan. Now, we got, the problems we have going on in Sudan and Russia is creating problems for K1 visa folks. So if you are a K1 visa beneficiary in Sudan, the U.S. Embassy will help you. They're not going to stop you from getting your visa. But we closed our embassy in Sudan, so you're going to have to leave Sudan and go to another country that surrounds Sudan. A friendly country that we have embassy processing. So you need to get in touch with your sponsor in the USA somehow and start coordinating to reschedule your visa interview like in Egypt or like in Algeria, Morocco, somewhere like that. Bud Garcia, I got my NOA 1 on September 19th. When do you think I will get my NOA 2? Well, September 19th, 2022. Let's see. So September 2023, October. I would say around October this year, when the new fiscal the new fiscal year will start for USCIS October 1st, 2023, which will be October 2024 for the folks that work at USCIS as regards to their financials and their they don't work on a calendar year. So you're going to be seeing your NOA2 letter probably right around September, October of this year. So by the fall, okay? So that's not much longer to wait. Not too much longer to wait. Now, let's see what else. I'm going to make a video about the cover sheet. Well, we can talk about the cover sheet. When you put together a K1 visa package, it's not required to have a cover sheet. But I strongly recommend you guys put together a cover sheet. Okay? And I'll make a little video about about how to do that. Basically, what a cover sheet is a letter from you to USCIS, Louisville, Texas, and you're going to put on there, you are the, Joe, I'm Diego, the sponsor, and I'm petitioning Karina, my beneficiary, and it's a list of everything that's in your K1 visa package. So you're going to start off with form I-129F. Actually, you're going to start off with the payment. Right now the K1 visa cost is probably going to go up. So I don't want to put out a price, but it cost me $535 when I first started this K1 visa process back in April of last year. I wrote a check to U.S. Department of Homeland Security. But when you fill out your check for your K1 visa, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you got to fill out the check exactly how immigration want you to fill it out. To U.S. Department of Homeland Security. No USDOH, no abbreviations, none of that. Because if you fill out the check for your K1 visa package with abbreviations, your whole package is going to come back to you. They won't cash it. It's got to be exact, okay? And then on the cover sheet, you're going to put item number 1. So 1 dot check for X amount of dollars. Item number 2, USCIS form G1145. Now, USCIS form G1145 is a form that you can fill out so that you get a text message or an email from the lockbox in Dallas, actually from the service center, saying they received your K1 visa package. Okay. When you mail your K1 visa package, I strongly recommend you send it by FedEx or UPS, DHL, so one of those companies. That way you can track it. When it arrives at the lockbox in Dallas, if you fill out form G1145, you will get a text to your phone. I still have mine on here. I'll show you right here. I got a text. Okay, I'll look it up. And what they did was they texted me and said, let me see right here. Let me show you. It's in here. There you go. No, that's not it. But what I did, here it is. Boom. I got a text. I don't know if you can see that, but I got a text from USCIS telling me they received my K1 visa package. And in the cover sheet, when you fill out your cover sheet, type it up on a computer, you're going to put in there number 2, USCIS form G1145. And then you're going to have USCIS form I-129F, okay? And when you fill out your I-129F, your K1 visa form, it's 13 pages long. Do not throw any pages away, okay? Now, in the form, it says at the very end, they give you an opportunity to put in there your translator. If you speak and understand English, you don't need a translator. So you put NA, NA, NA in those blocks on those pages 11, 12, and 13, I believe. Do not pull those pages out of your 13-page form I-129 and F and throw them in the trash. because USCIS will send your visa back to you, your whole package, because it's incomplete. A complete K1 visa package includes 13 pages of Form I-129F. Now, let's see. We got some questions here. Fikerte Anohe. Hello, sir. How long will it take the MVC? Let's see here. How long will it take the MVC to take the approved documents from USCIS, please? Okay, when you get your NOA-2 letter, my friend, USCIS will send your approved K1 visa package to the MVC between 30 days and 90 days. Okay, so between 1 month and 3 months. So be patient. When you get your NOA-2 letter, my friend, you do this. You kick back and you relax and you wait for your NOA-2 letter, for the MVC welcome letter. And during this time, you can tell your beneficiary, get her stuff together. Make sure all the passports are good. Make sure she has her birth certificate. Make sure you scan her a copy of the NOA-2 letter. When you get your NOA-2 letter, make a copy. Go to Office Depot, go to the library, go to your office, whatever, make a copy, upload it, and scan it to your beneficiary. If she doesn't have a computer at home, mail it. Get these documents together. Get your tax transcripts, okay? Get all your tax transcripts together. So when you get your NOA-2 letter, start being proactive and start getting your stuff together. Hassan Ali, how long does it take to MVC receive my case? 1 month to 3 months, my friend. Sanila Sunny, hi, Mr. Diego. Love from Philly. Hello, Sanila Sunny in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now, how's the weather in Philadelphia? Hopefully, it's probably a little cooler than here. Sure. In the letter of intent to get married that we put RE I-129F petition and the USCIS address. What about the one for the interview? I know we put embassy. Okay. When you fill out your letter of intent to get married, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Beneficiary, 2 separate letters of intent to get married. One from the sponsor and one from the beneficiary. The beneficiary writes hers or his letter of intent to get married in his or her language, and unless the person speaks English fluently, then you translate it into English by a certified translator. The second letter of intent to get married is addressed to the U.S. Embassy. Dear U.S., it'd be to the U.S. Embassy. Like Karina's second letter of intent to get married, she's going to address it to the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia, Calle 45, I believe it is. I can't remember the exact address. But that's what you do. You address it to the embassy. And then you put copy to USCIS/MVC so they don't feel left out. Okay. J-Vo, hello, Diego. Thanks for all you can do. Can you please give an estimate NOA-2 for NOA-1 dated November 2022? Yeah, December 2023. Probably right before Christmas, J-Vo. Even early, hopefully earlier. Now, remember, USCIS during December, they're still working hard for you guys, but it's Christmas week, okay? So not every country in the world celebrates Christmas, but in the United States, they celebrate it. And so USCIS may slow down a little bit in December. So don't get stressed out, if you don't hear anything much in December, okay? But J-Vo, you should hear from USCIS probably this November, okay? Or maybe October, probably November. Sanila Sunny, tax for 3 years. 3 years. 3 years worth of tax transcripts. So you're going to get, like I just did my 2022 taxes in April. I paid my taxes in April 5th, something like that. And then I applied for my IRS transcripts for my taxes for 2022, but the letter from the IRS came to me, it said no record. I'm like, okay, it's still too early, so I'm going to wait another month or 2, then I'm going to apply for my tax transcripts again. And I'm going to keep applying until they do their job and update my records. But I got my 2020, my 2021 tax transcripts, and a letter that said from the IRS, it says no record of my 2022, but I got my 1040 and my 1099s. Okay. And I got a copy of the check, which I wrote to the Treasury Department. So I'm good. I'm covered. If I can't get my tax transcript, then I'll explain to Karina, who'll explain to the immigration officer, well, Diego couldn't get his 2022 tax transcripts because the IRS is slow. Now, let me see. It's in the 70s. Pleasant weather. Excellent. That sounds nice and warm. Nice evening for a walk. Bud Garcia, do you know where I can get paperwork translated from Thai to English? No, I don't. Actually, try the Spanish group. Now, the Spanish group, their primary language is translating English to Spanish, Spanish to English. But the Spanish group may do that. Okay, Bud, check. Google the SpanishGroup.com. They're a company in California, and they probably can do it. But they will know somebody who can. If they don't do it, they will know somebody who can. Sansanilla Sunny. After you received your NOA-2, U.S. Embassy will contact the embassy in the beneficiary's country. NOA-2, what will happen is that the MVC will contact the embassy in the beneficiary's country. The National Visa Center in New Hampshire basically is the State Department or the Department of State, whatever you want to call it. And they're the ones that control the visas. Okay. Now, there are infinite number of visas for K1, CR1, IR1. There's no limit on the number of visas for family members. Okay. So what will happen is the National Visa Center will get your package from the USCIS. They'll assign a case number, and then they will email to you. We got your visa package. Welcome, Miss Beneficiary. We welcome you as a future immigrant to the United States of America. And then the MVC will process it and then stick it on a shelf, and then they will contact the embassy. Like in my case, the MVC will contact the U.S. Embassy in Bogota. And the U.S. Embassy in Bogota might tell the MVC, well, we're full, we're backed up with work, we don't have a spot right now. So the MVC will hold on to that Karina's K1 visa package for a little while until space gets freed up at the embassy in Bogota. Then the MVC will mail it by DHL courier. Big airplane will fly her K1 visa package to Colombia. And then you get your welcome letter. You get your ready letter from the embassy. Then you start paying. You go online. You pay your visa fee. You fill out your DS-160. Print the barcode of the DS-160. And if you have any children, K2 visas, you have to fill out a DS-160 for your children also. So if there are 3 people in your visa package, the beneficiary and son and daughter, there will be 3 DS-160s, one for the beneficiary, one for the son, and one for the daughter. You will have 3 passports. You will have 3 birth certificates. Get the birth certificates translated into English by a certified translator if necessary. You're welcome, Sanilla Sunny. Thank you. You're welcome. Payari Mihak. Hey, any update on USCIS? What month they are reviewing? April 1st to April 15th. So, and also March, and there's a carryovers from January and February. Now there are a few people out there who have submitted their K1 visas back in November of 2021 who are still waiting in December. There's a few, and those are the guys that I'm really, trying to get help to and try to advise them what to do, because, those are the guys that are falling into the 16.5 processing time frame. But most everybody else are getting their visas approved within 13 or 14 months. Sansina Sunny, mine will be in Mumbai. Okay, so that's in India. Mumbai, India is the consulate, and that is now, I think there's like 6 consulates and the embassy in New Delhi in India. But Mumbai is the only place that you can go to get your K1 visa adjudicated. So if you guys are watching us from India, okay, hello everybody in India, Mumbai is where you go for your K1 visa face-to-face visa interview. Okay. Piari Mihak, case received is June 2nd, 2022. Okay. So by July of 2023, assuming no RFEs and assuming that you don't, have, more stuff that they got to look at, you should hear from immigration probably by July of this summer. And it's May right now, and May is moving pretty fast, right? Do you guys remember April? How fast did April go by? April went by pretty quick. Boom, right? It went by pretty quick. Now it's May. It's done. The first week of May is almost gone. Tomorrow will be the first week of May gone. All right. So, and you guys are being really patient and being strong, and you guys are going to make it through this process. You're going to get through it. And, I'm just glad to be helping you. There's lots of people all around the world who all have the same question. How long is it going to take from NOA1 to NOA2? My response is, at right now, 14 months. How long is it going to take from the NVC to from the NOA2 to the National Visa Center? My response, maximum of 3 months. So that's 17 months. And then I'm asked, well, how long is it going to take from the NVC to the embassy? Well, every embassy is different around the world. Some embassies are more busier than others. So if you're in a busy embassy like in the U.S. Embassy in Manila, Philippines, it's going to be a little bit more busier than the U.S. Embassy in, let's say, Poland. Okay. Fatuma Abdo, are they working on April 2022? Yes, Fatuma, they're working on April. Now, the range number, people ask me, what's your range number? I don't care what my range number is, but the range number are the rest of the numbers, the last 5 or 6 numbers in your receipt number. So your receipt number is going to say WAC for Service Center, California. Okay, then there's going to be a bunch of numbers that follow. And our range number, I think, is like 7,800 and something like that. But the people, they're processing range number 6,800. Well, that's all well and good, but I just keep track of when my NOA2 is going to get in my mailbox out here. Is Islamabad, Pakistan busy for K1? Payari, every embassy in the world is playing catch up with the backlog, and they're getting caught up. So every embassy is busy. They're all busy, but they're getting caught up. Now, some embassies are working 7 days a week. Excuse me, like the U.S. Embassy in Oman is working 7 days a week. Okay. But the U.S. Embassy in the Republic of Georgia, they work 5 days a week. The ambassador takes the weekend off. I guess she just wants to go travel around Europe or explore, spend time with her family. And you can't blame her. The best channel. Hello, Sir Diego. Thank you. I'm Samar. Samar, nice to see you, Samar. Very nice to see you online. Thank you for joining us. We're here. We're here to help you guys. Okay. Fatuma Abdo, 7th of April. Yeah. So you could if you're NOA1 letter 7th of April 2022, you could be hearing from immigration very soon. Bud Garcia, do you know if Thailand Embassy has a backlog on interviews? Not really. The U.S. Embassy in Bangkok, Thailand is processing K1 visas. There's people leaving every day from airports all around the world heading to the USA with K1 visas, guys. It's just a matter of being patient. Every month is different. Every month's different. The U.S. Embassy in Bogota could be busy or they could be slow. And then all of a sudden they get a big influx of tourists wanting to come to the USA. Then they're busy. So it all depends, okay? Like the busiest month in the U.S. Embassy in Manila, Philippines is May, okay? Now May, that's probably because it's got something to do with school, kids getting out of school maybe. But May is also the hottest month in the Philippines. May is hot in the Philippines. So people are waiting outside or in line to go into the embassy in sweltering heat. Payari Mihak, thank you so much for your help. Good luck to you guys. Lots of love. Same back to you. We're glad we can help you. Afif Raven, hey Diego, my NOA1, 24 February 2022. Well, you should have heard something by now, Afif. But don't panic. don't stress, okay? Because maybe tomorrow you'll hear. Maybe this week, maybe next week. February 2022, you should be hearing very soon. Everybody's K1 visa is different, The K1 visa that I put together for Karina is going to be a lot different from probably the one you guys put together for your beneficiary. There's a lot of stuff that they got to look at for me. Remember, this is my second rodeo, so they got to do a little bit more investigation on me. They're going to check out the first one I submitted. Did it get canceled out? What was the problem? Was there any problems there? So that's what they have to do with my K1 visa package. So I'll probably wait, I probably won't hear until June, and that's fine. Yep. I'll wait. Kick back. And did you know about the National Visa Center in Istanbul? Okay, now the National Visa Center is in New Hampshire, and then the U.S. Embassy is in Istanbul, Turkey. And the U.S. Embassy in Istanbul, Turkey is processing K1 visas. And they processed them today, and they're processing them tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, they're good. Let's see. Sanila Sunny, while waiting for K1 visa, if I get pregnant with my fiance, does it help with the visa process? No, it doesn't speed it up at all. If you're a beneficiary and you get pregnant while waiting for your K1 visa or spousal visa, well, it does not speed up the process. Nothing changes. You're still in line, waiting and waiting and waiting. The only thing is you're waiting with the baby in your tummy. That's the only difference, but it doesn't change anything. Okay, you still have to wait. Okay, but then what will happen is you got to make sure that your beneficiary isn't like 9 months pregnant a week before your visa interview, because then the embassy may give her the visa, but the airline may not let her fly because she's so far along. You got to check out with the airlines. What is the maximum gestation period for a pregnancy? Will the airline company let you get on the plane? Sanila Sunny, thank you so much. You're welcome. Yeah, if you're pregnant, you got a baby in the tummy, that's great. A new family member. But immigration don't care. It won't speed up anything. Okay? The only thing it'll do is increase your family size, which is good. So yeah, if you're pregnant, that's fine. Mariam A, I included a receipt of the same hotel room for my fiance and I. Will that be all right? Sure, that's fine. It's good job. That's a good job. You made a right decision there. It is not a problem at all. Immigration don't care if you're in the same hotel room. What they care about is that you were together in the same hotel. Okay, so Karina and I, we stayed at the Hotel Regina in Bogota, and her name, my name's on the receipt. On the receipt, it's good. It's immigration just want to see that you guys are in a real relationship. The whole thing is this: you guys are in a real relationship. You love each other. You meet the income requirements, and you don't have any malicious felony criminal convictions. That's it. Just qualify for the benefit. Make enough money. If you don't make enough money, get a joint sponsor. Use your assets. Be at 100% for the embassy interview of the minimum federal income requirements, 125% when you adjust your status for your green card. Be in love with each other. Have lots of evidence that you guys have been together. I would not submit a K1 visa package unless I had at least a minimum of 1 year's worth of stuff. Okay? 1 year's worth of evidence. 1 year. So when I submit, I've been dating Karina for a year, and I lived with her for half of that time in Colombia before I submitted the K1 visa package. Okay? So I had 6 months I had 5 months and 2 weeks worth of evidence that I lived with her. And then I had the rest was just message traffic in WhatsApp and Yahoo Messenger. I got rid of Yahoo Messenger because I don't know if they're reading my stuff or not. So I went over to WhatsApp. Okay, and then I printed and printed and printed. Now I'm I made the mistake. Karina seems to be pretty cool with it, but I kept calling her my wife, giving her my last name in the message traffic. So that might be a problem for me when they adjudicate my K1 visa, because they might think I got married, which I didn't. I'm single. Well, divorced, not single, divorced. Karina's single. So I got a feeling I might get an RFE that says I got to show proof of wedding plans. That's what I think is going to happen in my case. I'll get an RFE. Diego, you kept referring to your fiance as your spouse. Are you guys married? No, we're not. It was just affection. Okay, you got to prove you have wedding plans. I got wedding plans out the yin yang. I got Captain Bill is my wedding officiant. Okay, Karina knows all about Captain Bill. He lives on Navarre Beach. I got the restaurant picked out for the reception. I got wedding invitations. I bought all these wedding invitations right here. Okay, and I got the receipt for that. So if I get an RFE asking for wedding plans, it's sitting on the dresser in the back there, ready to go. Okay. And if it requires my senator to call immigration to explain that I'm a divorced, not married, I will do that too. But that's the mistake I made in my K1 visa package. So don't make that mistake. Sergio E. Leon, 8M. Hi, Diego. What dates are they currently reviewing right now? Sergio, they're looking at April 1 through April 15th. Okay. Now, April 1 through April 15th, 2022 receipt dates, plus March, January, February, and March, whatever carryovers they have. So I figured by next week, starting next Monday, they should start probably looking at NOA 1 dates, April 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 in there sometime. Okay. So if you have an April NOA 1 letter of 2022, you're getting pretty close. And I just feel sorry for the guys that have got NOA 1 letters from November and December 2021. Those are the guys that I really think immigration should be taken care of right now. Sergio E. Leon M., meaning yours is around the corner. Happy for you and Karina. Sergio, well, I appreciate the words I appreciate you being happy for us, but I don't know, because my K1 visa package is a little different. I'm on my second K1 visa, so I got a lot more stuff that immigration has to dig through. So it could take my visa package could take until June. They got to investigate the last NOA 1 letter I got from 2016. They'll punch it in their computer. Okay, that was successful. And then they're going to check my NOA 2 letter. Okay, that was successful. Then they're going to make sure that all those that my first K1 visa closed out. Okay. Do you think you might get an RFE? Yeah, it's a good possibility. There's a possibility I'll get an RFE to show proof of a wedding, because in the messages that I sent to immigration in the album of WhatsApp messages, I kept referring to Karina as my esposa, which is Spanish for wife. Well, she's not my wife, she's my fiance. But in Latina countries, it's just normal to call your fiance your wife. It's normal. The immigration officer might get a hair up his, you know what, and say, is Diego married to this lady? I wonder. And but I'm not. I'm not married. So what I think will happen would be this. Number one, they'll just approve the visa and let the immigration officer at the embassy in Bogota ask Karina that question. Did you get married during this K1 visa process? And then Karina will respond, no. Here's my carta de soltera, my letter of singleness from Venezuela. Here's my letter of intent to get married to Diego in Spanish, translated into English. Here's an affidavit from my sister-in-law from Venezuela saying that I'm single. Karina's never been married. So I think I think what could happen is we'll get the approval on the NOA 2, and then the embassy officer will be ready and waiting with the question to Karina, did we get married? Okay. Or the immigration officer may be just very stringent, very strict, like the Catholic teacher with the ruler, and say, no disrespect to Catholics, and say to me, I got an RFE for you, Diego. I want to see wedding plans. I want an affidavit from your friends that you are single. Oh, well, divorced. Okay. Let's see. What do we got? Let me see. More questions. Princess P. Williams, I did the same. Yeah, be ready for that. Mariam, a family friend, filed his application for 2 years now, but didn't receive anything. He only got his NOA-1. Well, the family friend who's been waiting 2 years needs to be on the phone to immigration, and if immigration doesn't respond, he needs to be on the phone to his congressman, his representative, and if they don't help, he could go to a federal court and file a lawsuit against USCIS and say, hey, adjudicate my case. What's the status? Yes or no? Okay. Princess P. Williams, I did the same, but I sent a screenshot of my fiance name saves as hubby in my phone. But I also sent screenshot messages about planning our wedding. Yeah. Well, I have wedding plans in our K-1 visa package too, Princess P. Williams. I got wedding plans, but every time I sent a chat message to Karina, I called her my esposa, and I gave her my last name on her phone, on my phone. It's, I'm thinking I should know better than that. Okay, I've done this before, but I wasn't thinking. So I got to be ready for the RFE. If I get an RFE, I'm not going to have a heart attack. I can prove that I'm single, divorced. I can prove it. Karina can prove that she is single. Okay, now, Sergio E. Leon, my fiance and I are planning a celebration in Honduras, okay, in July, okay, before NOA-2. Do you think that could be an issue? No, it's not an issue. It's mostly for her family, since most of them are in Honduras. Okay, Sergio, if you have a engagement party in Honduras with your friends and family, that's fine. Just make sure your prometida, your fiance, doesn't get dressed up in some kind of wedding dress looking attire, and you don't wear any business suit or wedding or a suit that looks like you engaged in a wedding. And then just and don't bring it up at the embassy interview. Okay? Don't bring those pictures to the embassy interview. Just keep it down low, under the radar. You can do that. But, just keep it private. You can do that. Sergio, don't worry. Mariam A. Can a translator accompany my fiance to the embassy for translation purposes? Which country, Mariam? Karina will be having her K-1 visa interview at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia. Karina knows probably 5 words in English. She knows 5 words in English. Okay? So will she bring a translator? No. The U.S. Embassy staff in Bogota, Colombia speaks Spanish. They will interview her in Spanish. And then she will answer in Spanish, and they will interview me in English. And I'll answer in Spanish and confuse them all. Okay. Iraq. Okay, no, you don't need a translator. The U.S. Embassy in Iraq. The U.S. Embassy in Iraq is open. I thought it closed. You're going to have to educate me, Mariam. They reopened the embassy in Iraq. But if they did, a translator is not required. The Iraqi consular, the American consular officer, will have an Iraqi who probably can speak. What's the language of Iraq? Farsi? No, that's Iran. It's Arabic? What language, Marianne? What language is that? I can't remember for Iraq. It may be Arabic. Gary Higgins, April 14th, 2022 here, but married 2 times before and divorced from both. Sent 2 to fiance in Philippines, but only added last divorce on I-29F. Okay, Gary Higgins. Gary, if you were married twice before, you should have included 2 divorce decrees in your K-1 visa package. Okay? Married twice, divorced twice, 2 divorce decrees, okay, showing that both marriages have ended. Sent 2 to fiance in Philippines, but only added last divorce on I-129F. Now you should include both divorces on I-129F. There's a spot on there for divorces. Include both. Okay. Yeah, you're going to probably get an RFE, Gary. Be ready. They're going to ask you, what about the second person or the first person? Be ready for an RFE, and then get ready to respond to it, and get ready to type them a letter and a copy of your divorce decree. Did you include both divorce decrees in the K1 visa package? Did you get certified copies of both divorce decrees and include both in the K1 visa package? If you did that, immigration might just think that it was an oversight that you didn't include the second person in the paperwork. Okay? So take a look be ready for an RFE. Don't worry. RFE is no big deal. I had an RFE on my first K1 visa go around. I opened the mail, RFE. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I responded to it and got the visa approved. And in fact, I had an email today from a person who got an RFE 4 weeks ago, and he emailed me and said, Diego, I got an RFE. What do I do? What do I do? So I explained to him the process, put the cover sheet on top, give him the information. And then guess what? I got an email from him today, and he said his visa was approved. And he thanked me profusely for walking him through the RFE. RFE is more evidence, no big deal. It's no big deal. Okay, Arabic. No, a translator won't be required. Mariam A, I heard they did open the embassy and now they are processing limited number of visa interviews. Okay, so if the embassy in Iraq is open, I will call the embassy in Iraq and I will confirm that they are doing that, and that's good news. I mean, we spent billions of dollars building that embassy. We better be using it, right? And with our Iraqi friends. Okay. San Sanila Sunny, in Mumbai Embassy, do they interview in English or Indian language? Whatever's best for the beneficiary. Okay, if it could be, it's in Hindi if they prefer Hindi, or in English if the beneficiary prefers English, it's in English. If they prefer Hindi, it's in Hindi. Karina can't speak English, so she'll be talking to the scary immigration officer in Spanish. No translator. I'm not paying for a translator. The embassy can do that. Okay. Azar, me, Docket. Hi, Diego. Hi, Azar. Oh, Azar, remember, tell everybody where you're at, which country you're in. Sanila Sunny, thank you. You're welcome. Mariam, yes, please. Could you contact them to confirm if they are open? And do they do K1 visa applications? I will appreciate it. Yeah. I'll call the embassy in Iraq. I will give them a call. Now, I don't know if they're going to be open on the weekend. I'll call them on Monday. And then Wednesday at 5 p.m., we'll do our live stream. And then I'll have the answers to the embassy in Iraq. It's probably in Baghdad. Okay. So not a problem, guys. I can do that. If you want me to call embassies up and contact them, I'll do it. It's no problem for me. Remember, I was in the Navy for 20 years. I've been around the world twice. And I'm not afraid of these embassy guys or girls. I'll talk to them. Correct, it is in Baghdad. Okay, yeah, I thought it was. The U.S. Embassy in Iraq is in beautiful Baghdad. And I will definitely find out. And then Wednesday, the live chat Wednesday at 5 o'clock, I'll be ready with the answer to the embassy status in Baghdad, Iraq. Okay, now Iraq's a beautiful place, very historical. The history of Iraq is so fantastic. Chandi Priya Rangavi Jala. Hi, Diego. Forgot to submit intent to marry letter separately during the I-129 petition. Mentioned it in declaration of how we met. Do we get an RFE? Chandi, I would say you will get an RFE. Be ready. Get your letter of intent to get married from you and your beneficiary, or from your, I'm not sure, you the sponsor or the beneficiary. Get the letter of intent to get married from you and the sponsor and beneficiary. Have it ready. So when you get your RFE, which I'm sure you may probably get, then you can have it ready to go. And you can sign it and date it now, because this first letter of intent to get married is right now. So you can sign it and date it right now. The second letter of intent to get married is a week, 2 weeks before your visa interview at the embassy. Let's see. Sanilla, you're so great. I'm not so great. I just love doing this stuff. I love helping people. Payari Mihak, is there a backlogging in Islamabad embassy? Now, Pakistan is processing K1 visas. Okay? Payari, relax. Relax, guys. Janiela James, what if you're approved and then save his name as husband? Do they have a problem when you go to the interview at the embassy? That would be a problem. You don't want to save. See, you don't want the immigration officer to think that you guys got married during the K1 visa process, because then they'll deny your visa. Okay, you got to be single and divorced, whatever the case may be. Okay, do not save his name as your husband anywhere until after you get your visa and your passport. And then when you come through immigration, Customs and Border Patrol may ask you, did you guys get married during the wait for the K1 visa? And you're going to say no. Okay. And then if they look at your phone and they see that you saved his name as your husband, they might stop you from entering the United States. Remember, Customs and Border Patrol can look at your phone when you get to the airport in the United States. They might take your phone from your beneficiary and look through it. They can do that. Food for thought, right? I'm preparing you guys for this. Chandy, thanks a lot. Diego, no problem. Janiela, do not save his name as your husband, please. Wait till after you are together in the United States of America. I am getting myself mentally prepared for immigration to give me an interrogation as to why did I call Karina my wife in Spanish in all my message traffic. Well, because she's my fiance, there's no difference in my mind, but it's a problem for immigration. So I'm getting myself mentally prepared for an RFE for wedding plans, or Karina has prepared herself mentally for the interrogation at the embassy in Bogota, because I have got no doubt in my mind that they will be asking her that question. Why did Diego call you his wife? You guys married? Or did you guys get married? No. In Latino countries, it's normal to call your fiance your wife. It's normal. Guys, just hang in there. Listen to me. Pay attention to me. Now, when you fill out your Declaration of Financial Support, Form I-134, Declaration of Financial Support, you got to be at 100% of the minimum income requirements at the face-to-face visa interview, and your sponsor is going to fill out the Declaration of Financial Support, I-134. There's a block on there that says single, divorced, blah, blah, blah. If you are divorced, you check the block divorce, not single. Don't do that. That could be construed as paperwork fraud. Okay? If you are divorced and you feel in your mind you're single, in my mind, I'm single, ready to marry Karina. But when I fill out the I-134, I'll put an X in the box that says divorced. Karina her line will be single. Okay, so guys, if you are divorced, ladies and gentlemen, if you are divorced, when you fill out your financial declaration of support, I-134, 13 pages long, make sure you check the block that pertains to your status, and single or divorced. If you're divorced, no shame in that. The world isn't a perfect place, guys. Not everybody supposed to be together. They do, and then they get married, and it's not working out. So you divorce and you move on with your life. Facebook, if you have okay, I removed it. Janella, I removed it because I don't want any trouble. Good job, Janella. I have saved you from a massive Motrin aspirin day. Now, Facebook, if you guys have a Facebook account, that's great. What would you put? Okay, Bud Garcia, what would you put on your I-134 if your spouse passed away? Well, that would be widow. I think there's a spot on there for widow. You'll be a widow. You'll be a widow. You're either widowed, divorced, or single. Those are the three choices. Or married. And if you check married, you're in trouble. Then your visa is going to be blocked. Now, if you have a Facebook account, that's great. If you don't have a Facebook account, that's great. But if you have a Facebook account and you are a beneficiary and you are friends with your sponsor on Facebook, you guys better be in a status of engaged. If you go to my Facebook account, you can see that it says on there, I'm engaged to Karina Martinez, my prometida. Karina has on her Facebook page, her Facebook profile, she's engaged to me, Diego. So when she fills out the DS-160, they're going to ask her, do you have a Facebook account? She's going to put yes. And they're going to ask her, what's her profile name? And she's going to say Karina. And then they might check it. They'll either check it at the embassy or they'll check it at the airport when you arrive in the USA. You better be engaged to each other. And you better have lots of pictures public together and with friends on Facebook where immigration can see you guys have been together. Now, I got engaged to Karina on December 1st, 2021. So if you go to my Facebook page, it says I was engaged to Karina on December 1st, 2021. Then on December 24th, we had a big engagement party at our apartment because that's the best time we can get everybody together because it was Christmas the next day. Actually, in Colombia, the 24th is Christmas. So if you go to my Facebook, it says engaged. December 1, 2021, and then the engagement party was December 24th, 2021. And there's so many pictures of us public on Facebook, showing us together, traveling around Colombia, visiting all different parts of Colombia. S. Sanila Sunny, I only have WhatsApp, no Facebook, no Instagram. Good, okay, no problem. Janella James, same thing here in Jamaica. Bud Garcia, thank you, okay. Yeah, if you don't have a Facebook account, that's no problem. It's not going to hurt your K-1 visa case. And in fact, I don't have it. I had Instagram for about 2 days, and I got sick of it. I mean, what is Instagram to me was a waste of time. Now, Karina loves Instagram. I can't stand it. But I like Facebook, and Karina can't stand Facebook. So she's on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook. Not very much, but so Karina, when she fills out the DS-160, she's going to say, I got an Instagram account, I got a Facebook account, and these are my profiles. Excuse me, guys. Kusama Legrari, my case is now November 1st, 2022. What do you think? We'll hear something. November 1st, 2022. So November, December. So probably by November of December of this year. Let's say December, just to be safe. December of 2023. Right before Christmas, you'll get your NOA 2 letter. Maybe you'll get it the day before Christmas. What a Christmas present. So everybody doing good? Everybody relaxed, getting through this? Hanging in there? Not stressing it? Kusami Lagari, 190 days. Don't count days. Don't. Kusama, do not count days. You're going to go crazy. I haven't counted days one time in this entire visa process with Karina. Not one time. I don't know how many days I've been waiting. I don't know. I don't want to count. Payari, Mihak, if we don't want total publicly show on our Facebook account our engagement, then can we deactivate the account temporarily? That will be okay. You can do that if you want to do that. Deactivate the account and just say you don't have Facebook. But I have Facebook because I don't care who sees what I'm doing in Colombia. To me, it's not important. Immigration can see it. You can see it. I can see it. Everybody can see it. No name. Hi, Diego. Thank you for all your effort. After receiving my case number, my case is at NVC in 3 weeks. Ooh, 3 weeks. No name, no man. You got it quick. Good deal. So now you're just waiting on your embassy to get you the ready letter. Okay, so the NVC will contact the embassy will talk to MVC will talk to the embassy, they'll coordinate, and then you'll get a ready letter. How long that takes, I don't know. Which country are you guys in? Sanila Sunny, yes, me too, waiting for Christmas gifts. September 26, 2022. Oh, yeah, you were here before Christmas. You'll be fine. Janiela James, my Facebook is deactivated for over a year. He has a pic of us on his Facebook. That's the mostly used. You mostly use WhatsApp and video calls. Yeah, that's what I do. I got WhatsApp on my phone, and I go into here, and I'll call Karina. Karina calls me. I use WhatsApp, and then we'll write each other in WhatsApp chat, and then I'll save some of the chats and print them. Gary Higgins. I sent both copies of divorce papers from my last 2 marriages, but only added one on the I-129F. If asked, can she just show it at interview and explain? I made a mistake by not adding will be approved. Yeah, as long as you'll be approved as long as there's no other mistakes. It's not going to be a problem, but it's an administrative error on your I-129F. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen with your case, Gary, but if you enclosed both divorce decrees, that means you were not trying to hide anything, which is what they're more concerned about. Immigration is more concerned about you trying to hide stuff from them. But if you included both divorce decrees from both your last 2 marriages, and you only included one divorce name in your visa package, then you'll get one of 2 things will happen. Either you'll get an RFE, why did you not include your second ex-wife on the paperwork? Or they'll just send it all to the embassy, and then your beneficiary will be interrogated about it at the embassy interview. She will be asked, do you know about your sponsor's ex-wives? What were their names? That's what's probably going to happen. He'll probably just go to the embassy, and then your beneficiary will be interrogated about it. So you got to make sure your beneficiary knows that you were divorced twice, and the outcome. Chandi Priya Rangavajala. How many screenshots of chat messages and video calls are enough? Well, I sent probably 1,000. I went overboard. Okay, but probably I would say 2 a week, so that's 8 a month. So if you're in a relationship for a year, that's 8 times 12, so about 100. I would say 50 to 100 is sufficient, spread out over the course of your relationship. I submitted 1,000. I burned through 2 cases of copy paper. But would I do that now? No, I wouldn't do that now because they have to scan stuff. Back in the day when I filled out K-1 visas, they didn't scan anything. They just read it and mailed it. Now they scan stuff. As of November of last year, they started scanning stuff. Yeah, make sure the screenshots show the month, date, and year. Absolutely. Yeah, you gotta have a date stamp on there. WhatsApp does a fantastic job of putting a date stamp on your messages. They do a fantastic job. So come on, throw some more questions at me, guys. I've been chatting for almost an hour. I'll keep going. Okay, Chandi Priya. One last question. Can petitioner and beneficiary be family friends? Can petitioner and beneficiary be family friends? I mean, our fathers are friends. Is it a problem to mention it at the interview? It's not a problem, but don't mention it at the interview. Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up, okay? Because the immigration officer, depending on what country you're in, might think it's an arranged marriage, which it isn't, okay? But don't bring it up at the interview. Osama Legari, did the age difference between me and my fiance because she's older than me a little bit. And the case was handled through Boundless. Boundless is like Rapid Visa. Well, no, there's no such thing as a Rapid Visa. But if you used a visa company, that's fine. Okay, no problem. And the age difference, there's an age difference between me and Karina. No big deal. We got evidence to back it up. I lived with her for 5 months before I even submitted the K-1 visa package. Yeah, no, don't tell the immigration officer. It's not. Don't bring that up. Okay, you guys are engaged. They're married. They're engaged. They love each other. They want to get married, and they met each other, and that's all. Don't add anything. These immigration officers. I don't know. I don't know. They're just maybe they get points for every time they deny a visa. Maybe they get a bonus point. I don't know, but just be careful. Yeah, Sunny, you're correct. Don't tell them. It's not. Don't. Okay, guys. So this K1 visa package? I'm going to make a video about the cover sheet. Put a cover sheet together. We have Sonny. We have an age difference. He is 8 years younger than me. I pray that's okay. Oh, sure. 8 years isn't a big age difference. 8 years, no problem. Not a problem. It's not a problem. You guys will be fine. Absolutely no problem. And everybody, let's see. Did I miss any questions? I don't think I did. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, deactivate your Facebook account. That's fine. I use Facebook because I can communicate with family all over the world. I was in the Navy for 20 years, so I got family and friends all around the world. I didn't lose touch of friends who I served with in the military. So Facebook's a good way to get in touch with people. I can post something on Facebook and they can see what I'm up to. They don't have to like it or respond to it, but they can see it. And I know they can see it. And Sonny, thank you. Appreciate your videos. No problem. I hope the videos are entertaining, guys. I'm trying to make them as entertaining as possible. At midnight tonight, I'm going to publish a video about the U.S. Embassy in Oman. Tomorrow will probably be Ethiopia. Ethiopia is tomorrow, and then I'll continue on. And if you're in Sudan, I don't even know if you can see me while you're in Sudan right now, but the embassy there has closed. The U.S. Embassy is no longer processing K1 visas in Sudan. You guys need to evacuate. If you are engaged to an American, your sponsor needs to get you out of Sudan into another country. I know it's easy for me to say. It's easy for me to say, but that's what's got to be done. Like in Russia, if you are a sponsor, if you are a beneficiary living in Russia right now, our friends in Russia, we don't have problems with the Russian people. We don't have problems with the Ukrainian people. It's the governments that are fighting. But if you are a Russian beneficiary, your visa interview will be held probably in Poland, Warsaw, Poland. If that is the case, you're going to need a Schengen visa to get into the European Union to get out of Russia. Start planning for that kind of stuff. Don't wait till the last minute. If your sponsor schedules your interview at the U.S. Embassy in Warsaw, Poland next month, and you're still in Russia, you still have to get out of Russia. You got to get a Schengen visa. That could take a month or 2 months in itself. So my suggestion to folks in Russia is get a Schengen visa and then say goodbye to Russia and go hang out in Poland, until your visa gets approved. Anonymous Artist, MeWe is a good Facebook alternative for those concerned about data collection. Yeah, data collection is, you got to know that Facebook personnel, Facebook employees are reading your messages, message traffic. And, I don't use Facebook Messenger. I use WhatsApp because it's encrypted. Okay, it's encrypted. But I use Facebook. When I return back to Colombia to be with Karina and we go someplace like Chawachi or we go to a restaurant somewhere, I'll put it up on Facebook. I don't care who knows about it. To me, it's no big deal. Sonny, I put 6 screenshots in one page. There you go. Great idea. Great idea, Sanilla. Okay, let's see. Expo distribution. How long is the average from NOA2 to MVC? The maximum, probably 3 months. The quickest will be 2 to 3 weeks. So the average is going to be 6 weeks, but bank on 3 months. When I get my NOA2 letter in my hand, I got my NOA2 letter, I'm going to say, okay, I got 3 months now until the MVC contact me. So in that 3 months, I'm going to be working on the second letter of intent to get married. I'll be making sure I got all my bank statements together. I'll be making sure I got all the documents together for the embassy interview for Karina. Write my second letter of intent to get married, but I'm not going to date it until probably when I get my MVC letter. That's what I'm going to do. And then I want to jump on a plane and try to ride the rest of this process out in Bogota, Colombia. And when I'm in Bogota, I've got a laptop computer there and I have a Canon M50 camera. I can continue to make videos for you guys and continue to do live stream. I think I can do live stream from a laptop computer. I remember I bought this laptop in Bogota, Colombia. It was like $1,200. It's like, ooh, crazy dollars, but it's like the top of the line laptop. And then there's a little slot where there's a camera in it. So I'm pretty sure I can do a live stream from Bogota, Colombia, using our Wi-Fi in our apartment. And so everything will continue as normal, except I'll be in a different country. I'll be in South America, not in Florida. And I'll be cold and not sweaty and hot, because here it's warm. Woo! Today was rainy and the sky was gray and drizzly, but it was hot, tropical hot. And so did that answer your question there? Expose edition, 3 weeks to 3 months. So 3 threes, 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, average, NOA2 to MVC. Okay. And don't forget, tonight there's a video about Oman, and tomorrow I'll make a video about Ethiopia, the embassy in Ethiopia. And what's interesting about Oman, the people in Oman, the Sultanate of Oman controls the country. And in order for a person from Oman to marry an American, I believe they have to get permission from the government first. And if they don't get permission from the government, they can get fined over $5,000. So it's an interesting process if you're in Oman, guys. So if you're watching me from Oman and you're engaged to an American, start investigating what you have to do to get permission from the Omani government to marry an American. Osama Legrari, can you say to us what we need to say and don't say in the interview? When you have your visa interview, just be honest and be straight, and don't be joking around. Don't be acting like you're Mr. or Miss Cool. Wear business attire. Be conservative in your mindset. And when you get a question, if you don't know the answer to the question, don't make up something to try to please the immigration officer. Just say, ma'am, sir, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that question. If you know the answer to your question, answer the question, and then say nothing else. If they ask you, what is the color of your sponsor's eyes? Karina will say green, and then she will shut her mouth and wait for the next question. She will not say, oh, well, his eyes are green, and oh, by the way, he's got a little scar on his arm right here, and his favorite color is silver. She won't do that. Miss Karina, what is the color of Diego's eyes? His eyes are green. Zoop. Next question, wait for it. Okay? Gary Higgins, I appreciate your dedication and effort in helping us. If I don't get an RFE, I'm going to get in the Cessna and fly to Florida and buy dinner for me. Gary, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Send me a super chat. Send me a super chat. Then you're covered. Then you don't have to put any gas in your plane. but that's a kind thought, you know. And there's an airport close by too. I think in Milton, there's an airport in another city down the road, another town down the road here. Jason Mabry, I'm putting the interview folder together for my fiance in Ghana, beautiful Ghana. Okay. What documents will have to be original documents and what can be copies? Okay, original documents. You're going to have an original passport, original birth certificate, certified and translated into English. Original, that has to be original, the birth certificate. If there's any divorce decrees, they have to be certified copies. Certified copies. Okay? So that means that you go to the courthouse or wherever and they print it and they stamp it and sign it, and that's what you bring to the interview. Okay? So my divorce decree from my first K1 visa is back there, certified, stamped, and ready to go for Karina for her interview. Copies. You can have copies of tax transcripts, copies of 1040s, copies of W-2s, 1099s. You can include copies of now the letter of intent to get married. The second letter of intent to get married has to be inked and original, not copies. You cannot use a copy for the letter of intent to get married. So your sponsor needs to write a second letter of intent to get married, dated probably 2 weeks before your face-to-face interview, and he has to get you the original letter signed in ink. The I-134, the Declaration of Financial Support, has to be the original I-134, not a copy. Okay. Now in this computer right here, I have the I-134 ready to go for Karina. You know, all I got to do is if the edition date changes, I'm going to have to redo it because I got to put it on the most current edition. Okay. But I will sign it in black ink and date it and bring her the original in my hand. Well, I put it in my suitcase and bring it to Bogota so she can bring it to the embassy interview. Copies, photocopy of your biographic page of your passport, copies of your tax transcripts, certified copies of the divorce decrees, original documents, the Declaration of Financial Support, birth certificate. Your birth certificate, Miss Beneficiary, has to be the original. Okay? Has to be the original birth certificate. Now, the immigration officer will look at it. They're not going to steal it from you. They're not going to take it from you. They'll look at it and give it back to you. Bring photos of your relationship in a photo album stretching over your entire relationship. I've been with Corinne since 2021. So I got photographs of us over 2021, 2022, 2023. Photos, photo album, okay? And in fact, if you look, I don't know if you subscribe to the channel. I mean, you don't have to be a subscriber, but it's easier to find the videos if you are. Look through I made a video on what to bring to the embassy interview. I made a video specifically to answer that question. What do you bring to your visa interview? I made a video about it, okay? I'm in Shigo. I am in Greece. I've been to Greece. I've been to Cebu. Is it Cebu? No, Cebu's in the Philippines. I've been to Corfu, Greece. I went to Corfu, Greece 3 times. And there's an island there, there's a place called Paleokastrika, and there's a horseshoe bay. There's a beach there in the shape of a horseshoe. And I went to that beach. Every time I was in Corfu, Greece, I jumped on the bus at the main terminal and rode the bus to the beach. And I spent all day parasailing and swimming on Paleokastrika beach in Greece, and eating food up on the strip there. Here's the beach down here. There's a strip where you can go and all these different restaurants, and everybody spoke English. But talking about Greece, sorry about that. 5/20/2022. Wait for how long? How much time do you have left? Amin Shago. Okay, I would say June or July. Let's say July. You should hear from immigration on your case. Amin Shago in Greece. And which part of Greece are you in? Are you in the mainland? Are you on the islands? It's a beautiful country, very historical. You know, there's the Pantheon that's in Greece. I never got to go to the Pantheon. I always wanted to go there. But I tell you, I had a great time parasailing, and I went parasailing in Corfu. It was in 1991, I believe. I think, or was it 1992? Desert Storm. We just got back from Desert Storm, so it was 1992. I went to Corfu 3 times. What a blast! It was hot, and the beaches were fantastic. And okay, guys, what else you got? What other questions you got for me? Don't stress it, okay? The visa interview isn't difficult if you're prepared. You got to prepare for the visa interview. Dress business casual. If you don't know the answer to a question, tell them I don't know. Don't make up stuff. Oh, let me think. Let me think. The immigration officer may ask you this question: when was the first time you met your beneficiary face to face? I met Karina face to face for the first time at El Dorado International Airport in Bogota, Colombia, when she came to pick me up at the airport. We'd never met each other before. We've been chatting together in WhatsApp, Messenger, and etc. And then she picked me up at the airport, and there she was waiting for me, her lovely smiling face. But we were wearing face masks because it was during COVID. Everybody was wearing face masks. So the first time I saw Karina's face, all I saw was her beady eyes. But that's okay. I'm in Shigo in Athens, Greece. Fantastic. Beautiful. Athens. I've never been to Athens, but I've been to Corfu. And I am in Greece. Athens, Greece is on my list of countries to visit. And now I'm going to add Greece to my list of countries who are watching us, which is fantastic. Yeah, I remember I was in Corfu. I ate it was like a bunch of British people there, if I remember, on vacation, having a good old time. and then a bunch of Americans showed up, and we all got along. And I fell asleep on the beach and got burned. Woo! Tell you that was, but I went back to my ship and slept the rest of the next day. I couldn't leave I was on the weekend. I couldn't do anything because I got burned so bad. Fell asleep on the beach. But I can say that now. I couldn't say it back then because back then I was government property. Jason Mabry, as the sponsor, I will have to send my original passport to my fiance. No, you don't. You make a photocopy of the biographic page, and the biographic page is the part of the passport with your picture, the date of expiration, and your signature. Immigration, and make sure it's in color. So Jason, make a color copy of your biographic page of your passport. You keep your original with you. She brings her original passport to the visa interview. You keep your copy. You keep your original with you. The immigration officer will take your beneficiary's passport because they're going to need it to put the K1 visa inside it. Zoila Molina, hola Diego and Karina. Hola Zoila, ¿cómo estás? Sonny, I was about to ask the same about my passport. What about tax returns? Originals, no. Make copies. Make copies of the tax returns, okay? Just copies. And if you send in copies, I would get, if you want to get them notarized, you don't even need to do that. But just make copies. Okay? Keep the originals with you. Okay? The original documents that you're going to need, Miss Beneficiary, is the Form I-134. Has to be original, signed in black ink. Your birth certificate has to be original, translated into English by a certified translator. Your passport, Miss Beneficiary, your passport must be original, but everything else can be copies. Okay? No problem. Yeah, notarize it just in case. Yeah, just to cover yourself. You can do that, and you'll be fine. Don't stress this out. It's actually an easy process. It's just a mental game right here. The waiting is probably the hardest part. You do all this waiting and waiting and waiting. Then you get an RFE, and then you got to wait again. And then you get your NOA2 letter approved. Then you got to wait again. Then it goes to the embassy. You get your ready letter. You got to wait again. It's just a pain in the tush. It's not fun. But when you're a beneficiary, when you are on an airplane flying to America with your K1 visa in your hand, okay, remember, when you get to the United States of America, the Border Patrol officer can block you from coming in. So make sure you have screened your telephone. Make sure there's nothing on your phone that will give any indication that you guys are married. I know you guys are not married to each other. You guys are both legally free and able to marry each other, but you can't give immigration any idea that don't do that. Bud Garcia, have a good night. Diego. All right, Bud, see you later. Get some rest, okay? All right, guys, I've been speaking for an hour and 19 minutes. The next YouTube live stream, I'll do another live stream tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'll be back again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Just so if some people today couldn't make it today, tomorrow I'll be here to help you guys again. All right, so I'm going to log off now. I'm going to go make myself something to eat. And tomorrow I'll be back at 5 p.m. and then again on Wednesday. So I do it in the middle of the week because some folks work on the weekend, so they can't see it today, but maybe they have a day off on Wednesdays. Bon appetit, Archer. Thank you. Okay, guys. See you. I will. If you're here tomorrow, I'll see you here tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Good night, Sonny.